K-dols experience several controversies during the course of their careers. It is inevitable that the pop idols would become embroiled in scandal. But what exactly are the most terrible scandals in the history of Korean celebrities? Burning Sun scandal. Seungri, a former member of Big Bang, is responsible for one of the most significant scandals to ever occur in the history of K-pop. It all started on the 28th of January in 2019. A video of a man being assaulted at the Burning Sun Club made its way across the internet. Despite the fact that the individual in issue claimed to have been assaulted by security personnel, this footage was captured by a CCTV camera. On the other hand, given that he was unable to provide evidence, he was transported to the police station, and while all of this was going on, it began to attract people's attention. Everything went awry as more people started investigating this subject. The police investigated the case after it garnered so much attention, and as they looked more, it became evident that a large organization was behind it. Seungri, Jun-young, and others joined around this time. They were not visitors, despite appearances. According to hacked text chats, the incident escalated swiftly. All of this is still going on in the year 2019. Let's fast forward to the 3rd of March in 2019. The chief executive officer of the notorious club known as Burning Sun admits to having taken bribes. It was brought to our attention that he has been making payments to a variety of law enforcement personnel in order to maintain a low profile. It appeared that this case was going to become one of the most significant scandals in the history of the world, given the K-pop stars who were implicated. And we are sure you can imagine what ended up happening. Everything was made public, and it quickly gained prominence in worldwide media outlets. During this time, all eyes were on Korea from across the globe. All of this took place within the Burning Sun, from working with several celebrities to establishing an escorting business that was conducted professionally. It appeared as though all of the individuals involved were high-ranking, which means they possessed a significant amount of power and wealth. On the 27th of January 2020, the lawsuit began to make some headway toward resolution. Multiple employees were found guilty of various crimes, including drug trafficking, and given prison sentences. Seungri was accused of using and selling prostitutes to important people in the organization. Since Seungri wasn't charged, most people misinterpret the matter. The appellate court lowered his sentence from 3 years to 1 year and 6 months. Ace of Angels, Jimin. The 9th of September 2021, a complete account of the events leading up to the Ace of Angels AOA bullying incident is provided by Dispatch. It is a history of 128 minutes of talk between members of the AOA and what was going on at the time. Now, other individuals have asserted that the bullying has been going on for more than 10 years. Even if there is no concrete evidence to support this assertion, the majority of people have a tendency to accept it as fact. Let's get even more in-depth with the story. When you consider what happened in July of 2020, this was the point at which AOA Mina made the earliest allegations of bullying. Those allegations were, without a doubt, refuted by Jimin, and it was at that point that the situation began to garner a lot of attention. Almost every person living in South Korea was aware of the situation. It appeared as though the majority of the country was on Jimin's side, despite the fact that there was no concrete evidence that one of them had harmed the other. It's hardly surprising that anything like this would occur once the text messages were exposed to the public. After some time had passed, they both decided it would be best to apologize to one another, and after doing so, they kinda accepted each other's apologies. Jimin has resumed his presence on various social media platforms ever after the affair. It's been 18 months, and for the first time in that time, the hatred has begun to abate. Lee Hyunjoo. The victimization of Lee Hyunjoo by bullies. The process began in February of 2021. Within the month of April, a group that had previously been affiliated with DSP Media began discussing the charges. During the time that this was going on, nearly no one was aware of it. Up until someone brought this up, there was no news around the month of April. The government agency was similarly in the dark about this, so they decided to dig into it. Because April has been performing together for so many years, this is a very significant event for the band. The fact that almost everyone in South Korea was aware of this group helped to stoke the fires of controversy even further. Concerning the bullying, a statement was issued by the organization in question. And that actually did happen. Let's fast forward to March in the year 2021. Another member of Uni Trend has shared their thoughts on the departure of Lee Hyunjoo, and of course, you've probably already guessed what they had to say. It brought in much more interest from people in other parts of the world. It's been reported that another K-pop idol is being bullied, and this is not something that should be taken lightly, especially when it has genuine implications. People belonging to a variety of different K-pop groups started voicing their support for Lee Hyunjoo. Due to the severity of the situation, April Nayeon was forced to withdraw from her role in the upcoming SBS drama Taxi Driver. Because of how large it has become, another actress has essentially taken her position in the role. As of the month of February 2022, all allegations have been dropped by the official police. Daesung's car accident. One of the lead vocalists for Big Bang, a popular group signed to YG Entertainment, was involved in an automobile accident recently. Daesung himself operated the vehicle, reaching speeds of up to 50 miles per hour despite the fact that the maximum legal speed was 40 miles per hour. This is the point that everything started to go awry. Prospectively, it was a major scandal. Daesung was the buzz of the nation, and Big Bang was already famous. Fortunately, it did not ruin his career. Given his animosity, it was hard to handle. Idols are usually young, rich, and renowned. Therefore, it is unavoidable for them to drive Western-style automobiles. It did not have a substantial impact on his career, but it is brought up anytime there is a scandal involving a K-pop artist, so it continues to stalk him even though more than 10 years have passed since it first occurred. On May 31st, the body of the victim was discovered in this particular instance. Because there are so many people and so many emerging idols in South Korea, YG Entertainment has made it an official policy to prohibit idols from driving themselves. It has been common knowledge for quite some time that idols are not permitted to use motor vehicles. It is still unknown if this is the case due to the controversy or whether it is just a rule put in place as a precaution. Do Meizhu exposes Kris Wu? Who in Kpop doesn't know Kris Wu? If you've heard this name, you've heard the controversy that rocked Kpop. Kris Wu joined EXO in 2012. The band has numerous hit albums. In 2014, Kris Wu unexpectedly left. Fans and to a certain extent, SM Entertainment speculated about his leaving. Wu sued SM Entertainment in May 2014 to terminate his contract. Kris Wu also claimed the business overworked him, causing myocarditis. SM Entertainment countersued Kris Wu and his Chinese agency. SM managed Kris Wu in Korea and Japan after the two sides continued to fight. Kris Wu made her Universal China's solo debut after EXO. Kris Wu debuted in Somewhere Only We Know in 2015 and received appreciation for his performance. In July 2021, his glass empire collapsed. On Weibo, 19-year-old Chinese student Du Meizhu wrote about Kris Wu's practice of sexually assaulting women. Du Meizhu also stated that Kris sexually assaulted several of these females when they were 14 to 15 years old. Kris Wu also lied about the agency needing models and sexually assaulted young females. Kris Wu's agency lied and called Du Meizhu's comments malicious defamation in retaliation. The agency also promised a lawsuit. Before they could, Meizhu said on July 10 that she and the other victims will file a police report and present evidence against Kris Wu. Meizhu said on July 18 that Kris Wu had given her $77,000 to be quiet, but she was ready to fight. Kris also lost brand partnerships on July 18. After Du Meizhu's second speech, she requested Kris leave China and the entertainment business and apologize to the victims. Kris Wu then commented on Weibo rejecting all the allegations and saying he would go to jail if he did something so unethical. Kris Wu admitted and apologized to victims on Weibo on July 21. The post was removed immediately. The police verified Du Meizhu's relationship with Kris the next day. Finally, on August 16, Beijing's Chaoyang People's Procuratorate detained Kris for victimization. Lawyers expect his first trial's verdict in January 2022. Kris Wu's controversy remains one of K-pop's biggest.